Hey guys, how you doing today? My name is Hocus Pocus and welcome back to the Minecraft LP series, or welcome to the Minecraft LP series if you're new of course. If you're with me for the last one, you will remember immediately what we were up to based on what you see behind me. We actually redesigned the structure around the storage cache, so now instead of having the leaf blocks, which kind of intermingled everything, right? It was hard to determine where the storage cache was exactly. We've changed that up, gone with some spruce fences, some spruce stripped log, and we've implemented a few more of the grey stone textures there with a few slabs. And then in the middle, we've got this nice centerpiece with a lantern that just provides light to the area and also allows us to signify where the items will be dispensed from. So we can of course press this button for a stack of items, or we can flip this lever to have items dispensed out until we run out of the item itself in the storage cache. So as well as that, we spent some time working on the mob farm storage system, which is of course over here. And I think the best vantage point for this is the 100 subscriber monument, which as I say, will be adding an extra 0 to soon, if not literally, metaphorically of course. And there we have it. So on the opposite side of the storage system here, I've added another water tower, which doesn't actually have any function. It's just there for symmetry purposes. And now we've got this full length system that of course contains all of the loot from the mob farm. And the reason why we did this was just because if we didn't extend it, we wouldn't have been able to put a sort of cap on this side of things. So I had to extend it out in order for us to be able to wall across, because that piece of the filter system there actually protruded out of the build by one block. So it kind of messed things up, right? We had to extend it for design purposes. So for today's episode, guys, we are going to be working on something completely different that we haven't touched in a while. And that thing is known as the lag machine. I mean the bamboo farm. That's what we're going to be working on today, guys, the bamboo farm. And as you know, we haven't touched this in a while. As I say, it's been quite a long time since we set this thing up and got the wall erected around it. So what we want to do today is begin the process of building a super smelter to attach to this thing. So of course, the bamboo that comes from this farm is going to be used as a fuel source because you can pop it in a furnace and use it to smelt items. It works similarly to wood, coal, blaze rods, that type of thing. And I think I want to build the super smelter somewhere over here. Maybe in this dark oak forest here, this roofed forest. I think that might be a nice location. And I've got a bit of a plan for how it's going to look and how it's going to turn out. So hopefully it works out, right? And we're gonna begin things here with a bit of explosiveness, I think. And I'm not talking about that guy right there. I'm talking about something a little bit more powerful. Okay, and last one. And then redstone, lever, and take a step back. So this isn't an excuse to cause havoc, guys. I promise that there is a plan associated with this madness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flick the switch. We're going to run for it. Take a step over here. And I hope this guy doesn't die. We should probably get back. Whoa, I'm getting some lag. Frames are going missing. Okay, now was that... Yeah, that's not too bad. Maybe we need a bit more space cleared out, but as I say, there is a method to my madness here. It isn't just mindless explosiveness. So all of this area now is cleared out. And what I'm trying to do is create sort of a ditch in the land here where the super smelter is going to go. So what do we want to do next? Probably start collecting up all of the goodies because, of course, with one of the latest updates, TNT, I think now drops 100% of the blocks that it destroys. So, you know, we've got a lot of items and entities to pick up off the floor here. So let's get that done and then we can swiftly move on to the next stage of my plan. So that was phase 1 of my master plan and this is phase 2. Run, run, run. All right, let's get a good look at this. Ooh. Okay. Probably a bit less damaging than I was hoping, but perhaps not. We'll see. We'll see. So my plan is, I should probably start explaining it to you guys, right? So you're kind of on the same page as me. We're going to have a crater type thing that is in the middle of this. What do you call these forests? They're called roofed forests. That's what they're called, Hocus. Come on. Memory game, correct? Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, the memory issue that I had there, I've got this crater, and right in the middle, I want our super smelter to sit. So yeah, I think I was planning on around 150 furnaces when I started this thing. Not sure if I'm planning on so many now. Let's see what we could fit in this gap, I suppose, and then that kind of determines how many furnaces we're going to use. Oh, so I made a little bit of a mistake, right? So what we need to do is actually build this from east to west, or west to east, just because otherwise the track placement will be a bit messed up. So I've actually extended the pit. You can see it's got relatively larger. And instead of running from this way to this way, it's going to run from this way to this way. So we're facing east, runs from west to east or east to west, depending on how you look at it. And I've kind of determined that this block here is around the center. So we've got 2 furnaces in place and a bunch more in our inventory. So I'm just going to lay them down, see how many we end up using. So let's just take them all the way from one end to the other. And while we're doing that, I just wanted to remind you guys that today was the day that I started my elongated work hours. So now I'm working full days every day of the week instead of what I was usually doing, which was a bit less, left me more time to record videos. So as I say, maybe videos will be less frequent now with the change, just because I have way less time to record. But as long as I make use of my weekends properly instead of what I usually do, which is skip them, because you know, I can be busy, so it's not always my fault. But as long as I make use of my weekends, we should be okay to keep a reasonable amount of videos uploaded. So hopefully we can stick to a schedule of some sort. And a new rule that I'm going to go with now is that if there's no video by 4:30, then there will be no video at all. I'm going to try and upload all my videos at 4:30 now, so you guys kind of know whether or not you're getting one as soon as 4:30 comes around. So keep that in mind for the future. And as I say, I'll try my best to keep uploading. So what we've got here is a bunch of furnaces, obviously, and I'm going to go ahead and maybe lay down a few more. So what we'll have is we'll have maybe like 4 banks of furnaces. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And they'll all kind of get distributed into a central row of hoppers that collects items and puts them in a single storage area. So at the moment we are working with 100 furnaces, but that number might reduce a little bit because what I want to do is find the center here. So we've got 25 in each row. So let's go ahead and count out 14, right? Wait, no, 12, I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then this is the center one. So, of course, to make sure that everything gets fed properly with items, we need to ensure that the carts have enough momentum to get across all of the furnaces. So what I'm going to do is take out the middle 3, like so. And we're going to pop 1 on each end here. So we'll have an extra furnace on this end and an extra furnace on the other end, and a gap in the middle so that we can have some powered rails to keep the momentum of the cart alive. And whilst I was in the base preparing for this segment, you can see I've gone through a lot of iron again for the hoppers, but it should be no problem, right? It should be no problem. We might have to eventually set up a new iron farm to make sure that we're keeping up with demand here, but that's for another day. Anyway, as I was back in the base crafting these, I heard a random explosion take place that I can't account for, so I have no idea where it took place, and I have no idea what caused it. But luckily, I couldn't find anything in the base that indicated that anything useful or valuable had been destroyed. So for now, I'm going to try to forget about it, but we may or may not find out a bit later on that something in the base got destroyed and needs repairing, because as I say, random explosions are not something you want to hear. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a hopper on top of each of these furnaces like this. And that's where either the items, well, I guess that's where the items that are going to be smelted will go into. So we'll have a chest that feeds a cart that then feeds these hoppers. And of course that all goes into the furnace. Then we'll have a hopper in the back as well. And this is where the fuel will go in. So in this case, the bamboo will be going into this section here. So let's make sure we've got all of the furnaces covered. There we go. And we're going to need to multiply the amount of furnaces used here by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to use a lot of hoppers. So 8 times however many hoppers we use here is going to be the total amount, or there or thereabouts. Okay, and then underneath this, we will have a gap. And all of this is going to be filtered into the middle, and then it will be distributed into a single chest, I suppose. So what we'll do first of all is we'll create that central system so that we can have hoppers running into it. So let me remove some of the blocks again. And I know this might be slightly boring for you guys, but if you just bear with me, you'll see where this is going. So central column of hoppers that runs in this direction. So we'll have them going this way. And we'll only do a few on camera just as a demonstration. And then we will have hoppers connecting through like this. Okay, and then we want to go down under here as well so that we can access this guy right there. And then what will happen is items that need to be smelted will go into the top. Fuels will go into this hopper. They will both combine in the furnace to produce the output. The output will then come out of this hopper and towards the middle. And then this chain of hoppers will take the items probably in that direction, actually. We might want to reverse the way that they're going. Probably in that direction, and then we can pick them up. Or actually, should we do it? Probably in that direction, actually, because the carts are going to be coming from this direction. So we'll already have a mess of rails and such. So probably we'll remain going in this direction. And then there will be a centralized collection system where we can go and pick all of our stuff up. I've pretty much spent all of the hoppers, guys. We got 3 left. And as you can see, we are almost half of the way there, I would say. Maybe around a third of the way there. Because there's a lot of hidden hoppers that you don't see. Once you move a little bit, you can see that there are actually very, very many. And many more to go. So yeah, I'd probably say we're about a third of the way, not half. So yeah, a lot more iron to spend, but we've got it. Don't worry, we've got massive reserves of iron at the moment. But as I say, it's depleting quickly. And what we want to do now is figure out some of the track placement. So I'm thinking if we just have regular rails going across all of the top hoppers here. And then we can have a single redstone block in the center of these connections. And that will allow us just to have an extra powered rail so that we can gather a little bit more momentum at the halfway point. So of course we'll have powered rail here. That will be connected like so. And then this will just continue in this direction. But then once we get to the end of the hoppers here, again, we're going to have a nice stone block. And then some sort of stopper block at the back. So this can be changed, but for now we'll use a stone brick. And then we'll have a powered rail. So this will actually be another redstone block. Once we get back up, there we go. And then we'll have a redstone block here that's connected to a powered rail. And the cart should bounce and make its way back. So once we've got those in place, we of course want to try and get some down here as well. And that's why we do east to west, so that we can actually... Oh, there goes the track. Oh, luckily it doesn't go anywhere. Oh, we don't want that, do we? We actually... I think we might need to connect these to rails to stop that, to rails that go a bit further than this to stop that issue. So let me grab that back, and we'll also grab... Okay, we can't grab that one, that's fine. But it continues onwards, and then as I say, another powered rail in the center just to build a bit more momentum, and the cart will carry on in this way. And then once again, at the end, we'll have something very similar. So a redstone block, powered rail, and then a stopper block at the back to force the cart to sort of bounce and go back to where it came from. And now for the test run. So I did mention that we need to make sure that the cart runs to one end and back. So what better way to try that out than with a hopper minecart itself. So here we go. Oh, but the thing is, we're going to be pushing this ourselves, so it might be a bit of a bad test, but we'll just do it. So manual push. And we want to see the cart come back here, of course. So it bounces, makes its way back. And there we go. So we don't really want this cart to go too far, because otherwise it will take a while to distribute the items. So we want it to bounce back somewhere over here. So we need a method to fill these carts and have them run across the system somewhere over here. And that's going to take some planning. Maybe not in today's episode. Maybe when I've got a little bit more time, we'll look at that. So maybe for the rest of the episode, we'll try and get some more of these hoppers in place. Try and get more of the rails in place and just have the system ready to go for when we design the setup over here that fills the carts up and allows us to send them on their way. Okay, so a hopper restock and we are back. We also need to start removing some of these trees as well so that the canopy is erased. So I might do a little bit of that off camera in a second as well. But for now, we've got some more hoppers to place down, and this is going to be the most tedious part because every time I create these hoppers, I have to chop down trees, and that is not a fun job. So we'll start with these ones. And as I say, these hoppers here will be where the items go into the system that need to be smelted. So we'll have a way of inputting those somewhere over there. And I'm going to make this similar to the smelter that we've got down in the base, I think. So we'll manually input the items that need to be smelted, and we'll automatically input the items that will be doing the smelting. So of course that will be the bamboo from the bamboo farm right there. Do we have any more hoppers? No, that was it. So This is the hopper chain that will feed the center stream of hoppers that will take items to the final destination for collection, which will be just probably a double chest or something like that in the center of the farm. Okay, let's do something like that. And something else I wanted to mention in this episode, guys, was that yesterday I watched Detective Pikachu. So I was a fan of Pokemon when I was younger, and I always like watching the movies when they come out, but this one was a little bit different to me just because it looked strange having Pokemon that talked for one, and for two, having Ryan Reynolds voice Pikachu. I just didn't think that was a very good fit, but having watched the movie now, it's actually really good. So if you guys were a bit tentative on that as well, I definitely recommend going ahead and watching it. And if you have already seen it, then what did you guys think about it? I would like for you guys to tell me what you thought of it down in the comments below, is what I'm trying to say, but I can't get the words out. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It's quite a good movie. So where are we? We are done with this section. We're done with that section. So we need to fill rails here and rails here. So let's get some more redstone blocks down. There will be a redstone block there. And I'm going to be clogging up the system here with loads of random stuff. I'm going to try and keep it out of there if I can, just because it will be easier in the long run not to have dirt in our system. So let's have a block there, a block there. Take that guy out. And then we've got rails, rails. So powered rail, and then we can start putting some regular rails down. And we should probably sleep the night away because I don't want to be dealing with any nasty guys. Okay, night is done, but we need to be careful because there's a dude up there and I don't want him getting too close to us. So just keep an eye out and we can continue with the rail placement. So once these reach this end, again, we're going to have to figure out some sort of system here that allows us to get items in and out of these carts, but that comes at a later stage, I guess. Just for now, we'll get the basics done and then we can think about setting up the more complex features of this system at some other point. So this is where the hoppers end, and I'm trying to work out, actually, we could probably use a few of these, right? So let's go ahead and pop these down. We can continue our rail placement. Ooh, I messed up. This actually needs to go a step up. So let's go redstone block there, and then stone brick here. So in the end, I kind of want this to be a natural looking crater. And what I want to do is surround the furnace system in glass so that we can see it in operation, but I don't particularly want it to be accessible. So we'll have a big, or not a big, I was going to say a big glass casing, but it's not going to be very big. It's going to be small enough that we can have it situated in the middle of this crater type thing, but it's going to be big enough to allow the carts to run through it. So it's not going to be tiny. And then on the outside, I just want to have a gradient kind of system that transitions from the stone here up to the dirt so that it looks like this crater is kind of natural. And then over here will be where we kind of insert the items into the system and all that good stuff. So I think it'll work out well. And now that we've got these rails in place and some more of the hoppers in place, I think I'm going to take a little bit of time to clear out some of these trees before the end of the episode, and then we'll think about wrapping things up for today. All right, guys, welcome back to this video for the last time for today. As you can see, I've cleared out a lot of the canopy that was left hanging around after the explosion. So pretty much any tree that was partially destroyed, I just took down because, you know, don't want half trees hanging around with leaf blocks everywhere. That was pretty much what I wanted to eliminate, just having leaf blocks floating around. So there are a couple more to go that are on the far side of the ditch there, but we'll get to those eventually. Anyway, this is how things look at the moment. We're continuing progress nicely. We've still got pretty much a whole half of the system to fill in with hoppers. And fortunately, the limiting factor at the moment is wood. So cutting down those trees actually did us some good, I think. And you can see that we've actually smelted a few items accidentally through wood falling into the furnaces. So that's pretty cool. At least it works, right? Anyway, as I say, this is the last clip of this video. And here come some of our friends, so I'm going to make this quick. Thank you for watching and tuning in today. I really do appreciate having you here and all of the support that you guys give me. Just keep in mind that if a video isn't posted at 4:30, there won't be one for that day. That's a kind of indicator as to whether or not I'm going to upload. Uploads will be a bit slower now because obviously I'm working longer hours. And that's pretty much it. So once again, thank you for being here. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.